The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Now, I've been called a lot in my 23 years, but Donkey of the Day is a new one.
Let's sit and talk for a spell, why don't we? Donkey of the Day for Tuesday, January 15th goes to a young man named Malik Millett. Now, today is Martin Luther King Jr.'s actual B-Day. Dropping the clues bombs for Dr. MLK Jr. He possibly could have been 90 years old today. I say possibly because I hate when people say he would have been 90 years old today as if they just know he would have been alive. All right, maybe. Okay? The life expectancy of a black American is 75.6 years. So I think it's safer to say he possibly would have been 90 years old today, but I doubt it. Nevertheless, today is the day he was born, and one of the many things he left us is his words from his I Have a Dream speech, which he delivered on August 28, 1963, in which he called for civil and economic rights and an end to racism in the United States. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream of freedom and equality arising from a land of slavery and hatred. He had a dream that one day his 4 little children would one day live in a nation where they would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Well, I'm here to tell you that none of this has anything to do with Malik Millett. In fact, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not march from Selma to Montgomery for N-words like Malik Millett. I mean, technically he did, but he didn't know that it would be N-words like Malik Millett making such poor decisions with their civil liberties. Now, Malik Millett was in an Uber, something he probably wouldn't have even been able to do if Dr. MLK Jr. hadn't have fought to get the Civil Rights Act of 1964 implemented. If it wasn't for MLK Jr., it would probably be a blacks-only Uber, and blacks-only Uber would probably be a hearse or a paddy wagon. Now, Malik Millett was in this Uber, and he left something in his Uber. I've left something in an Uber once. It was a Montclair jacket. I did what everybody does when they leave something of value in the Uber. I sent an email, made a phone call letting them know I lost an item, described the item, never got it back. Okay, it's somebody in New Jersey or New York City right now with a black Montclair jacket that they found in an Uber, courtesy of me, Charlamagne the God. Well, Malik left his bag in this Uber, and the driver of his Uber said he received an email letting him know that a previous rider had left a package in his vehicle. The email contained the phone number at which he could be reached. Well, when Malik was called, he answered the phone and said that he left the package in the car and he would meet with the driver to get it back. Malik confirmed his name and told the person on the phone that the bag he had left in the Uber was black. Okay, black! Like the color of the skin of the people that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. died for. And stories like Malik, have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s spirit shaking his head in disgust because Malik was sent a picture of his bag just to make sure it was his. And when he went to retrieve it, this happened. Let's go to WPXI 11 for the report, please.
When Malik Millett booked an Uber ride near Pittsburgh, he left a bag behind that police say had some precious cargo inside.
He contacted Uber later through email and had asked them to somehow get him back this item, the bag.
The Uber driver was getting ready to return the bag, but looked inside and found 2 pounds of marijuana unintentionally left in his back seat. That Uber driver called police instead. Troopers found Millett's number in Uber records and reached out to him, pretending to be his Uber driver. The undercover officer returned the bag to Millett, and police say he seemed excited and happy to get it back, still not realizing who was actually behind the delivery. And police say after the fact, Millett actually tried to deny that bag was his. He is in jail on $150,000 bail.
I don't have to tell y'all why this is stupid, right? Some donkey of the days just sell themselves, right? See, some of y'all think drug dealing is a legal, honorable profession. All right, trapping has been promoted and marketed so well that some of you Negroes really think it's legal. That's the only reason you would go back to retrieve 2 pounds of marijuana in an Uber. If you leave a high quantity of drugs in an Uber, you got to charge that to the game. That's just the L you got to take. Going back to retrieve 2 pounds of weed as if it's a coat, a pair of shades, your phone, just lets me know you are abusing the freedom that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for your black ass to have. Now, it's times like this that I have to remind you what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would think of you if he was alive today. Please, congregation, let's pull out our Bibles and turn to the book of Boondocks, Season 1, Episode 9, titled Return of the King, please.
Is this it? This is what I got all those ass whoopings for? I had a dream once. It was a dream that little black boys and little black girls would drink from the river of prosperity, freed from the thirst of oppression. But lo and behold, some 4 decades later, what have I found but a bunch of trifling, shiftless, good-for-nothing niggers? And I know some of you don't want to hear me say that word. It's the ugliest word in the English language. But that's what I see now, niggas.
Please let Riri Ma give Malik Millette the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
But
Shut up.
not for nothing.
Shut up, nigga.
You lose 2 pounds in an Uber. You just gonna let it go?
Yes.
No. You gonna think maybe the Uber driver didn't open it? Maybe he's just gonna return it?
Not a risk I'm willing to take.
So you gonna lose that 2 pounds?
Yes.
How much is that worth?
Charlamagne, you was the
I
drug
don't know. I
dealer.
ain't sold drugs in so damn long. I don't know how much.
Back in your day, how much was it worth?
$1,000 a pound.
That's $2 grand. Break
Okay.
it. Bruh.
No.
All right.
Now you got a $150,000 bond.
Well, when he brought it back, I'd be like, that wasn't my weed.
went
Man,
Right.
shut up. It's your Uber.
Wrong bag.
Wrong
Okay,
bag. Not
you
my
had to
bag.
identify yourself to retrieve your lost item.
What did they say
You
when
already
you go-
gave your name, your phone number, and everything else.
What do they say when you go to the airport? Have you been around this bag all the time? Has somebody else packed this bag? I don't know who packed this bag, sir.
This is exactly why Martin Luther King Jr.
I was framed.
regrets
I'm with
marching
you.
from
I was
Selma to
framed.
Montgomery.
All right.
I have
Well,
a feeling Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X sitting somewhere right now having some Starbucks this morning, regretting ever marching for any of y'all. Charlamagne the God here, and today's Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey and call my friend Michael if you've been hurt in a construction accident. 212-962-1020. That's 212-962-1020. Don't be a donkey.